here, it's literally life and death.
We are in Vancouver, British Columbia, and we're going to be talking to the CEO of Arcteryx, Stuart Haselden. Arcteryx is an outdoor apparel company, and they have roughly 3,000 employees, over 150 locations globally, and they did just about 1.5 billion in revenue in 2023. We talked to Stuart about his leadership style, his military experience, and all things Arcteryx. Let's go talk to Stuart. All right, we are with the CEO of Arcteryx, Stuart Haselden. Stuart, thank you for joining me today.
Yeah, great to be here.
Appreciate it. So I gotta be honest, when this opportunity was brought to me at first, I did not know what this brand was. So if you could, please tell me what Arcteryx is.
Arcteryx is the pinnacle brand in the outdoor industry. We make the very best outdoor gear for hiking, for climbing, and for snow sports. We began as a climb brand. Our first product was a climbing harness in 1989, and so that's our DNA and our legacy.
How did you become the CEO of Arcteryx? Because I noticed that you worked at Saks, JCrew, Lululemon. Talk about your journey coming up to the CEO role.
Yeah, so my journey really began on the finance side of the house, and so my entry into the business world was really in corporate finance and with Saks. My mentor, a guy named Jim Scully, I worked for 15 years, first at Saks and then at JCrew, really was developing me as a leader within the finance part of the company. And that led to a few different roles before joining Lululemon as the CFO as well in 2015. And at Lululemon, my experience expanded beyond just finance into operations, into supply chain, and ultimately that really gave me an appetite to lead a brand overall. And so I left Lululemon beginning of 2020 to lead a small luggage travel-related company called Away Travel in New York. During that experience, I was approached by folks that I had known from Lululemon, who had become investors in Amber and Arcteryx. They approached me to lead Arcteryx, and as someone who's passionate about the mountain, passionate about skiing and hiking, big part of my family experience, my family life, it was a dream job. I couldn't say no to it.
The Design Engineering Lab.
So this is where we break things. That's probably the easiest way to say it. So yeah, it's different equipment that actually helps us test all different performance characteristics for our products. You know, it's a fun part of the design center where you can really put products to their test and try things in different settings and different environments and different temperatures to really create an initial way to try to prove quality and performance. Harnesses were our first products, and so we continue to innovate and introduce new design techniques to make harnesses stronger, lighter, more durable, and more sustainable. And so this is an important piece of equipment for us to test those designs.
Your first role at Away as CEO, did you learn any tough lessons as the first-time CEO where this was your company? Aside from COVID, did you learn any hard lessons in that? And then on top of that, in your first few months at Arcteryx, did you learn anything that was kind of like a difficult lesson to learn?
Yeah, I mean, one of the burdens that you feel as a CEO is that, you know, everything at the company, ultimately you're accountable for, you're responsible for. And that's something you have to embrace, and you have to be comfortable that you can organize the company in a way that enables good decision making. At Away, it was a really difficult circumstance just with what was happening in the world. And how we were a high growth company that then had to shift from a growth footing to survival. You're trying to raise cash to ensure that the company will survive. So the agility required in that situation was something couldn't be predicted, but you're accountable for those decisions, and growing comfortable making those decisions is a real element of being a CEO that you know, it's hard to understand until you're in the seat.
There's so much that a CEO can focus on or should focus on, but what do you do day to day? How do you spend your time?
Yeah, it's a constant balance of different horizons of decision making. So, what's happening this week, this month, how are we ensuring the business is executing at the right levels in the current priorities? And then how are we looking forward to the future?
How have you changed as a leader earlier on in your career when you were working in the finance roles to now? It's a much more expansive role. How have you evolved as a leader?
The burden that you feel for that decision-making dynamic in the company and the direction that you're setting for the business and creating a clear vision is something that, as a functional leader, you don't have that. You're contributing to a vision that's established by other people. You're contributing to shaping that vision, but as the CEO, one of the most important things you do is to create that inspiring path for where the company is headed.
Can you walk me through a difference between this role and Arcteryx and the way you all operate versus your experience with Saks, JCrew?
Yeah, well, I would say at Saks, it was other people's brands. We didn't design a lot. It was more choosing which brands that we would trade. JCrew, classic fashion company, a lot of classically trained designers sketching things where performance meant something different. Here, it's literally life and death. Like the products that we produce are going to keep people alive on the side of a mountain, and so the quality standards are absolute. There can be no compromises, and so that obsession with the integrity of the quality is an important part of who we are as a company and what our products mean to our customers.
How much do you think your military experience shaped who you are today?
There's a certain amount of just personal resilience and discipline that you learn in the military, but then from a leadership standpoint, the idea of team first. You always put your team before your own personal interest. You always lead by example. And the other thing that I learned was, as the leader, you need to set the vision for success. You need to establish this is what success looks like and be able to communicate that very clearly to your team. And then create the time and the resources that are needed for your team to accomplish that mission, and then get out of the way and let your team find the smartest and most efficient and the best way to achieve that goal. As a new lieutenant, I was in the Army for less than a year, and I was leading a group of soldiers, some of which had been in the Army for over a decade and were combat veterans. And so for me as a new lieutenant to be able to lead them and be effective and gain their confidence, it was really life-shaping.
Were they ever weary of you as a leader early on?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
How'd you deal with that?
I put the team first, and I led by example.
What's one thing that leaders do that's just a grave mistake?
They lead from entitlement. They don't share the hardships. They don't lead from the front. And that is the worst mistake a leader can make.
Do you have an instance that you could share when you made a strategic decision and it was not popular?
For sure, yeah. As I mentioned, when I joined the company, we were primarily wholesale. We had a big push to open more stores, to lean into our own channels of distribution, and we exited a number of wholesale accounts that had been with the company for a long time. And that wasn't popular with much of the team inside the company, and obviously it was a hard thing to communicate with folks that we had been doing business with for some time. And we're actually going back and reevaluating our wholesale footprint today and looking to repair some of the relationships that we had exited. And so that was decisions that were made that definitely weren't popular at the time, and some were the right decisions and some weren't. And so learning from mistakes is also a big part of the job.
What advice would you give to an aspiring leader or someone in a CEO role where they do need to make a strategic decision that is going to be unpopular?
Yeah, I would say follow your gut. The worst thing you can do is not make a decision. And be transparent. Share the rationale for why you're making a decision. ultimately you're accountable. You have to make the call. But if you do it in a way that is transparent and share how you're arriving at that decision and why you believe it's the right call, you'll be respected for it.
Do you find the CEO role to be a lonely position?
It is a lonely position in that there are often times where you've got to make a call, and it feels like no matter what choice you make, someone's going to be unhappy with you, and you have to have the conviction of making decisions that are in the best interest of the organization in pursuit of that vision that you created. There's a saying from the U.S. Army that goes, mission first, people always. And that's a mantra that I follow and I've shared with my team. It's a philosophy, it's an ethos that we're always going to make the right decisions, sometimes difficult decisions for the organization in pursuit of our mission, of our vision. And sometimes that'll have negative repercussions in different directions. But as long as we're making those decisions with the context of our team and always taking care of our team through the good times and the tough times, your folks will stay with you.
So who are some mentors that have shaped your leadership style and how you make decisions today?
For sure. I mentioned earlier Jim Scully, a gentleman I worked for 15 years at Saks and JCrew, and he taught me a lot in terms of just leadership in general and filling leadership gaps in an organization and not just being a functionalist. I also worked for Mickey Drexler, who's a legend in the retail industry. And what I learned from him was agility and speed and decision making, failing fast, making lots of decisions quickly, and moving forward. And so not being stuck in analysis paralysis or bureaucracy. The worst thing Mickey could call you was a bureaucrat, and so that stuck with me. And I try not to be a bureaucrat.
So things are trending in a great direction.
Yeah.
How do you maintain the competitive edge in fashion with products? I mean, I feel like every day I see a new product, I see a new company shoving an ad in my face on Instagram, and they all look great. It's not like I'm seeing bad products out there. So I'm interested in how you all decide to create innovative products and how you keep an edge.
Yeah, we're in the design center. So if you go upstairs, and maybe we'll do this later, we'll meet some of our designers. These men and women are oftentimes world-class athletes in their own right, climbers, skiers, and they are designing products not from a commercial brief. They're not trying to fill some void in the market. They're actually designing products to solve a problem they experience in their sports. And so they are designing for themselves. That's how we design products. That's how we keep our edge.
You have people that are in it themselves, and they are not just dorks designing things, they know it.
That's right.
Yeah.
They are.
No offense to dorks who design.
Yeah, so these folks, many of them have been with the company a long time and designed some of our greatest hits. And so they have a great track record of success. They'll build a prototype in the morning, they'll take it on the mountain in the afternoon, beat the crap out of it, bring it back the next day, and iterate on it and make it better. And so that's really been the story of Arcteryx from the very beginning. People here would often tell you that Arcteryx couldn't have been born anywhere else, and that the environment that we operate in, the mountains and the climate, is a big part of who we are and the products we make.
What do the next 5 years look like for Arcteryx?
Yeah, so as we look out over the next 5 years, we see continued expansion across the regions where we operate. So North America, Europe, and across Asia. And that expansion is going to include a number of new stores, expansions of our digital footprint, and growth with key wholesale partners. And beyond just the regional expansion and the channel expansion, there's exciting new products. One of the most exciting developments we've had in our business is our expansion of our footwear offering. And so previously we had a footwear line that was developed in partnership with Salomon, one of our sister brands within Amer Sports. And 3 years ago, we opened our own footwear development and design center in Portland and built our own team.
Nice.
And we launched our first 3 models that this team had developed in March of this year. A lot of interest in these 3 models. So we see footwear becoming a really important part of who Arcteryx is, and creating a new part of our identity.
Are you shifting out of the mountain athletic at all? Do you see yourself shifting into that world?
So when I joined in 2021, Arcteryx was making dresses, plaid shirts. They were getting drawn outside of that.
Too much so.
Too much outside of our focus on mountain sports. And so we made a conscious decision then to exit those products and actually double down and focus on the mountain athlete and the mountain sports that they're engaged in. And so we've actually narrowed our assortment. We've become more focused.
Do you think companies do that too often, where they just try to grab market of different products that they're not specialized in?
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
I mean, because it's a big company. $1.5 billion is not a joke.
You're right. And we have big ambitions well beyond that. But what I'd say is the appeal of Arcteryx is that we are super focused on mountain sports, and that we make the very best products in the world for climbing, for hiking, for trail running, and for snow sports, for skiing and snowboarding. And so because we're so focused and we're making products that are the very best, the best materials, the best construction, the most innovative designs, people want that. Mm-hmm. There's an inherent attraction to owning the best of anything, and Arcteryx is the very best of outdoor apparel.
What's your vision for Arcteryx?
My vision is that we continue to scale, that we become a large company in the industry, larger than we are, but we do it in a way that is true to the integrity of who we are as a brand that serves the core mountain athlete. And all types of mountain athletes. So it's an inclusive brand. Everyone is welcome here, but we don't want to lose our way. We want to maintain that integrity to who we are, and continue to grow through that.
Is there a conflict between scaling and quality?
There's a constant tension, I believe, with growth and quality and staying true to your core customer. There's temptations to expand beyond who you are, to attract new customers outside of your core, and that's dangerous. And so companies that lose their way are chasing growth, chasing sales in a way that is undisciplined and outside of who they are. And so we've had a lot of success actually growing more focused on who we are. And so that's exciting, it's energizing, it's helping stoke the passion inside the company for what we're doing. And so I'm excited to extend that and to amplify it.
So this is kind of a lame question, but I just want to hear it. What is your favorite part about being the CEO? What do you love about the role? And leadership in general, because not everyone wants to be a leader, not everyone can be, not everyone wants to make those hard decisions, so what do you like about it?
It's the team. It's being with my team. Just the camaraderie, the shared hardship, and the sense of achievement of doing something together is really what I love.
Nice. What TV show are you binging right now?
Oh, wow.
Or last TV show that you binged?
Ted Lasso.
Nice. What is the song that you're listening to right now?
It's unfortunately a Led Zeppelin song. So.
Why is it unfortunate? That's great.
my kids would tell me I'm lame.
So. Oh, that's like my brother's favorite band that I used to listen to when I was younger all the time. That's a great answer. What is the worst job you've ever had?
Oh man, I was a consultant right out of MBA school. I don't even put it on my resume anymore.
You know what bothers me when people are like, I'm a consultant, and they're like 24?
Yeah, it's like, what do you know?
I was like, you're 24 though, what are you consulting?
Yeah.
I digress. If I could give you the ability to time travel, where and when are you going?
Oh wow, I would go to, oh man, that's a hard one. All I can think of is lame historical moments in the 20th century.
Not lame.
I would go to Woodstock, 1969.
Nice.
Yeah.
If I could give you the ability to snap your fingers, go on a vacation with your family, a travel bucket list, where are you going?
New Zealand.
How come?
Love the mountains and the ocean.
No Lord of the Rings? I'm a big Lord of the Rings guy.
My kids love it, yeah.
What are you saying? All right. When were you last scared?
Oh man.
Deep.
I was scared about a month ago in Chamonix, France, hanging on the side of a cliff face, doing some sport climbing there, yeah.
Oh, that sounds really cool.
Yeah, puckered up, yeah, I was scared.
Fear of heights or just like kind of an intense?
I think a normal fear of heights. I don't,
Yeah.
I was
mean, obviously you climb, so you're not,
yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
All right, tell me about your best friend.
Oh, wow. My best friend, I served with in the Army, and he grew up in Rye, New York. He's an FBI agent, and I see him probably twice a year. And I'm doing a off-road motorcycle trip with him and 7 of our other buddies from our unit in October. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
How long is that?
It's 4 days, 3 nights. Yeah, in Utah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Stuart, I appreciate you joining me today.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm going to shop at an Arcteryx store in Chicago.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I'll help you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Your kids are wrong.
They're wrong. I tell them that too all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, this is,
I was about to say,
so this
looks
is
like a torture chamber. I'm not sure. No, it's not. We're in the office, so they're working.
yeah.
Sorry. What's your vision for Arcteryx?
Oh wow, world domination. No.
You heard it here first.